Welcome to Enigma Diaries, everyone. Today we are going for a trip. We are starting from the capital of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, to the lake city of Udaipur in Rajasthan. This is a 3 day short trip, and it takes 6 hours to reach Udaipur from Gandhinagar. The view is quite exquisite, with lots of greenery and 6 lanes all the way from Gandhinagar to Rajasthan. This greenery will change in a fortnight as a winter is coming. We started off at 8 in the morning and reached 2 in the afternoon. Once we had reached there, our lunch was dal bati. I'm not a huge fan of dal bati, but this one was quite okay. The craze for dal bati in Rajasthan was something I thought that I would never see in my life. But then again, here we are. We had two types of curries with dal bati, and once we finished that, we started off our vacation. First, we went to the Fateh Lake. Being a person who's accustomed to lakes and backwaters, I thought that I had seen everything. But this one was quite different. It had that aura only a few places could ever give you. A couple of hours into a vacation, and I was quite hooked from the mesmerizing view of Udaipur. The view was quite splendid, with the mountains and the lakes and everything. But the feel that it gave you, that's something that words can't describe. There's a small park in the middle of the lake called Nehru Park. The island needs some renovation and some attentions. But if you are in Udaipur, you must enjoy the view of sunset from there. People from all over the country were there, and all of them had one thing in common. They all believed that this place was serene and beautiful. As the sun goes down, the lightings of the island would come alive, but you would want to enjoy the view of the sunset again and again. Time flew by us. We were lost in the beauty of the Fateh Sagar Lake. Coming from a place full of backwaters and lakes, it was never my intent to visit Udaipur, but I am grateful that I had done this. We were in a time loop of unending aura and serenity. If you never visited Udaipur, you have no idea what you're missing out on. The diversity Rajasthan offers is unbelievable. The food, the culture, the people, everything will grow on you eventually. Just coming back from the park, we happened to stumble upon an ethnic Rajasthani performance. It's nothing fancy, but they're still keeping their tradition alive. After this, we were on our way to have a dinner. We were so late that when we entered a restaurant, there was nothing but chicken fried rice. The chicken fried rice was okay. It was not great, it was okay, but it was a bit pricey. Late night, we went for a walk near the city palace, and we happened to see some cultural Diwali programs. People were enjoying these Diwali programs, dressed up in their traditional attire. Then we went to the Gangur Ghat, where we sat beside the Lake Pichola and enjoyed the mesmerizing view that it had to offer. I must admit, the view was quite stunning. What's more puzzling was that how could a city be this beautiful, yet so diverse, with so full of people, yet so calm? The small bridge on the middle of the Lake Pichola helped us capture this wonderful view without any trouble. The locals were so warm and friendly. This place has that positive vibrancy to it. You would never want the night to end. Being Diwali, the lights were everywhere. Next day, we set off to Udaipur City Palace. Just before that, we decided to have a breakfast. So we had this dahi puri and sev puri. I really loved the dahi puri. It was spicy, yet so refreshing. The sev puri was okay. Not great, but it was okay. But the dahi puri had me at the first bite. They made these with fresh ingredients and out of scratch. If you are in Udaipur, this should be a go to snack. There's an artisan behind this artistry. The way it is made depicts their skill in their craft. We reached there before it got crowded, so we had an excellent view of how it was made. Even though it was a light breakfast, it had us full. Just before we entered the city palace, we wandered off to the grounds. Just like the Fateh Sagar Lake and its surroundings, the city palace had an amazing view. This palace in the middle of the lake is now a star hotel. The surrounding grounds not only had a lake but also had lustrous greenery. There were boating and other fun activities for the tourists. If you have time, you have a lot of activities to explore. There were palaces all around. Palaces on the middle of the lake, palaces on the top of the mountain, everywhere they had palaces. Oh, and if you are enjoying this video, do like, share, and subscribe. Now we have entered the hallowed grounds of the palace. The palace in itself was mind blowing. It had everything: centuries of history, battles, love, betrayal. The palace staffs were professional in their approach and quite helpful. If you are visiting Rajasthan, you must have Udaipur in your bucket list. From the city palace garden top, you could see the entire town of Udaipur in its mesmerizing beauty. The city in itself is well planned and well maintained. The palace and its entrances were filled with historical references. We could stand there all day reading and understanding the history. We could now understand why the city of Udaipur was a fortress, a defensive fortress protected naturally. The warriors and the people stood together against the battle of time. No wonder why even Akbar at the Battle of Haldigati had trouble against Maharana Pratap. Every ruin, every wall, and every window had a story to tell and a secret to keep. Just imagine the time, the resources, and the effort that was required to build such an amazing palace. There's no such thing as free lunch. People paid for their safety in their own way. The walls, the domes, and the murals had served their purpose. It shows us the significance of history and the lessons that we could learn not to repeat our past. Everything is built in their own intimate way, yet the utmost importance was given to the functionality. The courtyard, which was a symbol of glory, is now an exhibition part, teaching us that time is undefeated and we can't outrun time. It took us almost 3 to 4 hours just to cover the entire city palace, yet we felt that we had more to explore. The palace and the place had withstood countless incursions, which in itself is a testament to the tenacity of the locals. The exit from the palace will lead you right to the Jagdish temple, which is another beautiful architecture of the Mewar era. The temple is full of sculptures and scriptures, which welcomes everyone irrespective of their religion. From there, we headed straight to a sweet shop nearby. We tried the famous Kala Jamun and Gulab Jamun, without the sugar syrup, of course. To be honest, I preferred the Kala Jamun over the Gulab Jamun. It was firm yet soft, and since it did not have that elaichi flavor, we could enjoy the Kala Jamun and the Gulab Jamun. Afterwards, we tried their famous lassi with butter. The lassi was really tasty, but was a bit disappointed with their quantity. They had poured their famous rose syrup on top of it. It was really thick and full. From there, we headed to the Kanimata temple. Before entering the Kanimata temple, we just headed to the park near the Lake Pichola. The park near the Lake Pichola had that serene vibe to it. One could just sit here for hours, being one with the nature. That is the beauty of this park. In order to reach the Kanimata temple, we had to use the ropeway. The view, man, the view from the ropeway was just unbelievable. We were completely taken aback by this ride. One could always take the trekking route if you wish to avoid the ropeway. But the ropeway is a must visit. That is, if you are not afraid of heights. It's a 5-minute ride, stretching more than 100 meters long. The Kanimada temple is on top of that hill. The entire ride is one hell of an experience. Even though Udaipur is known as a city of lakes, the mountains are no less flamboyant. The view from the top of the Kanimada temple was so breathtaking that you had to pinch yourself so as to know whether you are dreaming or not. One could see the entire city from the top of that temple. Just take a look at this view, the entire city in its grandeur. We could just stand there looking at this beauty for hours or days or even weeks. When the night had approached, we left the temple and we went to have our dinner. We tried an authentic Rajasthani thali. It had dal, jeera rice, paneer, sabji, gulab jamun, dahi, and papad. They served unlimited roti with a limited jeera rice and limited paneer, and it was really tasty. The thali had a signature Rajasthani flavor in it. Everything was well balanced. The jeera rice was much better than what I had anticipated. The paneer and dal complemented this thali really well. One could get unlimited number of rotis here, but the second time they only serve sabji and the dal. We had this scrumptious thali and we headed off to our room. since we had to head home the next day and we still had to explore some more places. When compared to Gujarat, the non-veg dishes are a bit expensive in Rajasthan. The next day we headed off to Baguri Ki Haveli, a small museum nearby the Lake Pichola. We spent our entire afternoon there, and from there we headed out to have one of the best lassis in town. If you are in Udaipur, do not miss this lassi shop. It's just a kilometer away from the Udaipur bus stop. It's yummy, it's thick, and it's full. The butter will just melt right away in your mouth. After enjoying this lassi, we headed out to have a veg pulao, which was surprisingly good. It was a matta veg pulao, served with the right amount of matta and oil. It was the last dish that we had from Rajasthan before heading out to Gujarat. We took a 6 hour bus from Udaipur to Gandhinagar. If you haven't been to Udaipur, do ensure that you visit here at least once in your lifetime. If you have enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.